Once again, this is for PVE, so you are going to have the environment in mind, and you know what says a more beautiful base than having a waterfall cascading behind you.
Whirl.
What is up, ladies and gentlemen? It is Cjthecheesedj here, back with another ARG video, and today we'll be taking a look at top 7 base locations around the island. So that's 7 places where it would suited best for a PvE base. So before we start, I just want to say a huge thank you to everyone who's come along and viewed the videos, all the new subscribers that have come along, and I apologize for not uploading more. I've had exams and been in the middle of a lot of work lately, so that's why there haven't been many uploads, but we're going to get back into the rhythm of things and start uploading some more now. So in no particular order, once again, these will be 5 base locations where I think are pretty good PvE base locations. And, you know, this is my opinion. Let me know if you guys find any other kind of bases where other base locations that you think are really good. Now, for number 1, we're going to start off is this place here. The place where we built our playthrough base. You can see here, it's got rather high walls. There aren't many predators in this area. Pretty much the strongest thing you'll find in this area are Therizzinosauruses. You can find a few over in these woodlands areas over here. As well as over there, you've also got Therizzinosauruses spawning in. Now, you've also got the sheer cliffs, which means you can stick up barricades at the top of them, or even at the bottom of them. If dinos come falling down, you'll easily be able to stop them. If you don't want to stick barricades up, you can stick the big behemoth gates up, although that's not really recommended because you don't need to on PvE servers. And you can easily wall this off with a behemoth gate, as well as the other end with a behemoth gate. So that's why this place is my number, well, it's not my number 1, it's just number 1 on this list. Now, the location for this base, once my map decides to load in, is at about 6121. So it's in the southwest section of the map. You can see there's our little marker and the coordinates for it. So, you know, this base is my number 1 to start off the list, number 1 place. Number 2 location is right here in the south, in the middle of the map pretty much. So you can see that we're kind of in the middle, in that river intersection-y bit across from the redwood biome. We're at about 49, 58, I'd say, roughly. And, you know, this place, it doesn't look like much, but there are plenty of stone resources here in order to build yourself a nice stone base. Granted, there are a few predators. You can see a Kano here. There is also a pack of raptors over there. But, you know, they're nothing too stuff that, you know, say a trike can't handle, for example. But once again, like the first base that I showed you, you can build easily stone gateways that'll block off this section of the little kind of crevice kind of thing that you got going for yourself, as well as this side, as well as this side. Then you've got plenty of space to build up a pretty big base. There is plenty of room here for base structures, and there is also tons of stone in order for cementing paste, building stone structures. You know, you'll be set for stone for days. Get yourself a Dodicarus and you can easily harvest all this up. Now, as well as this, you've also got the river here, which further down it spawns in all the T-Rexes and the Spinos further down it. As well as that, the redwood biome is across the river, which, you know, you can have access to plenty of wood, dire bears, lots of foraging stuff going on for yourself as well. Now, if you're not happy with that little location over there, you can also build up here on these little outlet. However, the ground here is not as flat as it is on the bottom of that first place where I showed you. So it may be slightly more difficult to build here. However, I definitely recommend that place for number 2. Number 3 is just next to the green obelisk at about, let's take a quick look here. It's at about 59, 69. So a few more distances between this base and the last base that I showed you. Now, the reason this base is here is because mostly all the dinos in this area are herbivores, except for that Spino there in the distance. You will get the odd Spino spawning in over here in the lakes and river bit, but, you know, that's nothing really too manageable. The Spinos will tend to stay away from you as long as you don't go too near them and, you know, try and attack them or harass them. Now, this place has lots of nice flat land for you to easily build on. You've got plenty of water for irrigation. And if you're not happy with that, you can always build over the waterfalls, or even come down here and build across in this little section where, once again, there aren't that many predators. And you have less of a chance of encountering a Spino down here. You clear away these rocks and you can easily build a base across the water and make it look all pretty and aesthetic. Once again, this is for PvE, so you are going to have the environment in mind, and you know what says a more beautiful base than having a waterfall cascading behind you. So as well as that, you've also got the obelisk next to you, so you can easily go and do all the bosses easily. Now you can see this poor iguanodon is being harassed by a bunch of dillos. That's probably the worst thing you're going to face around here aside from the Spino. So, you know, you're not really, it's a pretty perfect place. There is metal nodes not too far from here. I'm pretty sure there are some up there as well that you can easily use and gather. So we are coming up to number 4 now, and this location has been essential for my time on playing Ark on the PC. I would always go to build here. It was probably one of my favorite spots to build. I made huge structures here. I even managed to build a bridge from one section of this map, and it led over to the edge of the cliff over there, and it pretty much had a huge breeding ground for all my dinosaurs, and this ramp was like 7 foundations wide, so it was quite fun to build here. Now you're probably wondering, why would you build here for? It doesn't look very flat, and you know, it's not very appealing. Well, I kind of built it with PvP in mind because of all the trees, but then I kind of got used to it, and I was like, you know what, this could be a very nice PvE base. So the deal with this place, you could either use up here for your personal base or down here for your personal base. What I did though was I turned this area down here into pretty much my dino holding pen. I had 2 behemoth gates, one on this side, one down over here on this side. Granted, it doesn't look that great because of all the trees and rocks here, but I had behemoth gates there and then walls lined up along the whole cliff side just to stop my dinos from falling. And there aren't very many predators, carnivores here. I think you get the odd carno wandering up from this little section down here. You can see a carno down there. That's pretty much all you'll get, aside from, you know, the Dillos and the Meganeuras and Titanomininas. Other than that, you don't really get many other predators down here. We are in the south section of Ark, so there isn't much down here. But like I said, this ground is nice and flat, so you can easily build bases upon. Now, like I said, I did use this for my dino holding pen. And then up here was my actual personal base, and I managed to get a rather large structure. I can't remember exactly how big it was, but it was pretty big. Like, I had 3 separate structures, and they were all bridged together using dino gateways and like hallways. I did have a separate holding pen up here. I wish I had a screenshot that I could show you guys, but unfortunately my computer is not much of a computer and didn't cope very well running Ark, but I still managed to play it. But I had a separate holding pen for all like my smaller dinos, like my raptors, my diabears and all that. And then obviously this rock wasn't here. And then there was a bigger one that had, I think it was about 15, 16 high, 15, 16 walls high. I had the bottom section built off for, once again, more dino holding. And then the top section was all my storage, all my crafting stuff. And then over here I had a separate aviary for all my flying dinos. I had a Quetz landing platform and everything like that. Now I did use this section mainly for all the larger dinos down the bottom here, like the Rexes, your Spinos, your Carnos, your Allosauruses, all that down there. While my harvesting dinos and all like my little traveling dinos were up here. So that's why I think this base is number 4. This is just an extra one. I wasn't really going to include it there, but I thought, you know what, it is a rather nice place. Now the only problem I had with this place was the metal nodes. You do have a few on Herbivore Island, which will be there shortly, but other than that, you did have to fly quite some distance to get to the metal nodes. Now, if there is a base built on Herbivore Island, you are kind of limited to metal gathering, but you know, you can still make this place work. It's a very nice place to build. Now, number 6 on this list, I did say it was a top 5, but I've decided to extend it to top 7 because why not? Okay, so this place is definitely a challenge to build on. It's more of a fun challenge though than a difficult challenge. Now, this is the Stonehenge located at the bottom of the map. You can see there it's about 89, about 90, 55. So this place is rather high, but it is definitely fun to build on. This place here you can easily build up with pillars and then foundations on top, and this can be your main bulwark of a base. Or you can choose to build down on the ground in this center section here. Although I would recommend building up on the higher platforms because it's definitely more fun to build up there, and then just keeping your regular land-dwelling dinos down here. Or you can even choose to build in this flat center over here. It's really up to you, although I would definitely go for the challenge of building on top of the rocks. Not only will your base look awesome, you'll have an amazing view. That's if your PC or Xbox or PlayStation can handle it. Now, as well as that, you can build little outpost kind of things here where you can, there's enough space for a few foundations on these little outcrops. And as well as that, you've got the ocean out there. You've got this little storage section as well where you can store dinos. Granted, you can't really fit too much through this section. I think the most you can fit through is probably a manta, as long as the ichthys and like beavers and all that sort of stuff, the amphibious dinos. You can't really fit too much else in here, but you can just keep them out there at the ocean's edge, which, you know, isn't too bad of a storage location. You can build up water docks for yourself. As well as that, you can build like ladders and ramps to lead up to your actual base. Granted, it'll probably take you a while, but once again, I've had the experience of establishing a PVE server on a PC, And some of the builds that one of the guys did on our server was incredible. Like, he managed to build an entire fort on this structure of Stonehenge. It was incredible. Like, it was all linked together. There were ramps and stairs that actually managed to get up to this bit. It was just amazing. It took my breath away. But this place should definitely be on your list to build because it's just such a different aspect of Ark, building up in the air. Granted, you can choose to build on the redwood biome trees, but you know, that's nothing compared to this stone structure out here. Plus, you've got all these rocks and stuff. Now, once again, the only downside is taming dinos. You're going to have to travel a bit of distance to get yourself some good carnivores, as well as find some metal, which, you know, your closest location is once again Herbivore Island or the mountain in the center. But if someone's built there, then you're in a bit of a pickle. Undisputably, one of the best PVE building spots that you can build a base on is Herbivore Island. Now, this place is located down in the southeast section of the map at about 85, 82, which, you know, you can't go wrong with this place. But before we continue on with Herbivore Island, the coordinates for the last location that I showcased are at about 75, 80. It's around that little inlet there you can see on our map just above us. It's just there. So if you plan on checking that place out, it's just there. Now, Herbivore Island, you can't go wrong. No predators whatsoever. You've got herbivores everywhere you look. You've got plenty of brontos, plenty of raw prime meat that you can cook up and, you know, turn it into jerky to make kibble. You've got metal nodes. You've got, I think there are about 6 metal nodes on this island. You can find them floating around. There's more than 6, obviously, but you just saw 2 there. Now, you can easily tame an ankylo up to gather all that, set it to wander, and you'll be set. Same as, you know, a mammoth. You can transport a mammoth over here on a raft, which, once again, is the only downfall. If you don't have a flyer, you're going to need to build a raft to get over here, which, you know, could be troublesome, or even tame up some water dinos and transport them over here using that. It has the perfect location for a water base, not a water base, for storing your water dinos. You can see all this. This is rather open. Now, if you don't like storing them in the middle of this section, you can easily go to the back of the island. However, this section does drop off pretty deeply once we get through the reeds. You can see there you can easily fit a mosasaur in that little inlet. So, you know, you've got to take that into consideration. And look, there's a basilosaurus for you to even tame, and manta rays. So yeah, so this place is definitely one to keep on your list and in mind when you're planning on building a PvE base. That little midsection in there, you can easily ward off and wall off the top sections with spike walls to keep out all the pesky herbivores from invading. And as well as that, there's plenty of flat ground. Once you get up this little hill, all this is flat. Like, look at it. It's all flat. You won't have any problem snapping your foundation to any of it. And you can easily stick a behemoth gate for aesthetic purposes there. You know, it's a rather nice base location and one that definitely needs to be on this list. Now, undisputably, number 1 in this list, I'm going to have to say, goes to this location here. Now, this is referred to as the Valley. Now, the Valley is probably I'm going to say it's the best base location in the game. That's my opinion. You know, if someone isn't building here or has built here yet, I would definitely recommend going straight for this place because the perks that this place has is just amazing. There is so much space to build, and you can wall off, if we get out of this rock, thank you. You can wall off all that with your wooden barricades. You can wall off the intersections where they all meet, where you can leave the place with stone behemoth walls. There are 3 exits that you can leave out of this place. You've got beaver dams being spawned in here. You've got beavers. You've got plenty of fishing. You've got your odd sarco, which isn't too much to handle. But this place is pretty much free of carnivores and predators that you really need to worry about. It's just an amazing place to build. You can have separate sections of your base designated. So over here you could say, for example, have farmland. Over here you could have all your dinosaur storage. Over here you could have bases. Over here you can have more bases. And once again, this place is ideal for tribes because each tribe member can have their own little separate space because you've just got that much space available to you. And, you know, this place is just easily one of the best places to build. You've got plenty of metal in the surrounding mountains. You've got a mountain over there. You've got a mountain over there. And you've got a mountain over there. You'll be set for metal for days. You've got plenty of rocks, plenty of trees. The surrounding forests have plenty of trees. Now, as well as that, you're closely located to Carnivore Island. Carnivore Island is just over this little ridge here, straight out across the ocean. And you'll find Carnivore Island. You can see it over there. Build yourself a boat. You can easily transport dinos or just even swim them across. There's the mountain that I mentioned earlier, as well as the one over there and the one over there. You've got easily access to the snow location for any snow-related taming dinosaurs that you want to get tamed up. And, you know, this place is just, it's perfect. It really is, because I think this is easily one of the best base location building for PVE in Ark. So that'll be my list for today, guys. Let me know what you thought of it. I think I displayed some pretty good base locations. If you guys aren't sure where to build, definitely check those places out that I mentioned. Before we forget, the valley is at 2269, I'm going to say roughly. You'll easily find it once you get over here. But other than that, guys, that'll be it for today's video. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Hopefully you found it useful. Let me know if you did down below. Let me know where your guys have built your base. I would really appreciate it. But other than that, guys, thanks for watching, and I will catch you in the next one.